Are you looking at any team and saying this team needs to pounce on a deal right now?
Yeah, I'm looking at two teams, Zach. One would be Calgary, because I think the last game, Jacob Pelletier, who's just recalled, was in the top six. And they're missing half the goals they had last season. Because when Johnny and Matthew left town, that was 82 goals last season. And the replacement's Huberdeau, who's got 10 goals, and Kadri, who's been great. He's got, 20-something. They're missing about 40 goals. They need a top six winger. They need a top six scorer. The other team, also in the West, in the Central, would be Minnesota. Right? So, look, Kevin Fiala leads, and that was a big loss. But the trickle-down effect, and that's the same thing with a guy like Johnny Gaudreau, who's a great facilitator. It affects other guys on the team. Lindholm's not the same player, goal-scoring wise, right? So that affects that. And same thing in Minnesota, because Kevin Fiala leaves. Ryan Hartman's got 5 goals, right? And Sir Boldy's been great. He got the extension. They need goal scoring. They're 20th in scoring coming out of the break. That's not good enough to make the playoffs. They're in a position right now, but those are two teams that, from an offensive standpoint, need to make big deals and get a scoring winger, a top six guy on the wing to help their offense, because their offense is middling right now, and I just don't think either one of those teams have a good enough offense. Even if they get in, Zach, they're going to get knocked out in one round.
Yeah, I'm looking east. You handled the West because you're the LA guy. I'll take the East here in Toronto. Not the Leafs, although I do think they need to do a couple things. Carolina, all of a sudden you've got $7 million extra in LTIR space that you can play with. I think this is an opportunity. Your window's wide open. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. And I think they're looking. I know they're looking. Whether they make that big splash or not, it's going to come down to the opportunity cost. They don't want to give too many futures away. But if you win, well, it's justified. So, and all this, they won't spend the money. They don't want to spend the money, blah, blah, blah. Tom Dundon didn't want to spend the money to be mediocre. Is he going to spend the money now and spend a few extra million to push his team over the edge? Yeah, it's just the problem is it's the prospects. It's the top kids. They're not trading Seth Jarvis. They're not trading Neckash. They're not giving away. I always screw up his name, but the young goalie who's going to be their number one. Thank you. So that's going to take me a long time to figure out. By the way, I've screwed it up 9 times when we've mentioned him so far this season. So I just give up. But they're not trading those 3 guys. So if they have other pieces, I think that'll play a factor for them. But you got they have what, $10 million? Because Jake Gardner's done. Max, unfortunately, is done for the year. They've got a crap ton of cap space to utilize because of the LTIR overage. So I think this is an opportunity for them to go all in. Do it. I think the other team, it's a toss-up for me between also in that division, Jersey and the Rangers. I don't know if Jersey needs to go all in right now because they've got a pretty young core, and I think they should go all in for Timo Meier because that would work. But I think the New York Rangers are another team that they've got a good opportunity here. If they can add a couple pieces with Shesterkin in net, with a solid D-core like that, and the depth that they have up front, and guys that play playoff type hockey, like Kreider, we all knew he was going to fall off from 50 goals. But
sure.
Can he be a playoff producer like he usually is? You add a couple other pieces and other elements there. I think this is a team that could do a lot of damage and squeeze out. And it might be, them Carolina at the end, because Boston in the second round. I mean, because we know Boston's going to roll. And if they get Chychrun, like Dennis was the first guy to report this over the weekend that Boston's been pushing hard for Jacob Chychrun. If they can pull that off, see, listen to that. Those are the sirens going. Yup, Chychrun, Boston, let's go. I think honestly that if the Rangers and Hurricanes make a big splash over the trade deadline, it might give them an opportunity to meet potentially the Bruins in that Eastern final.
Yeah, on the Rangers, Zach, here's the thing. If you look at their right side defense, offense, like Jimmy Vesey, 9 goals. Barclay Goodrow, 9 goals. Capo Caco, 9 goals. And here's the worst one. You want to talk about a bad trade, Chris Drury? Sammy Blais for Pavel Buchnevich. Since the trade, do you know how many goals Sammy Blais has for the Rangers? None. He has not scored a goal as a New York Ranger. I think it's 70 games. And Pavel Buchnevich last year had 30 goals. I think he scored 15. That would be the guy on the right side that would help them win. What a terrible trade. And I know why they did it, and they said that he was soft, and I think back in the day, David Quinn called Powell Mr. Happy. But that's a terrible trade. Like right now, they'd be a way better team. So now, when you hear about Patrick Kane on the right side, yeah, that's why 27 goals from 4 right wingers. You're not winning the cup. It's just like Carolina. They got to trade for a left winger. Patches is gone. Bernstein has done great in Carolina. Great ad for this team. But again, it's you don't have enough offense. Like I look at that, I'm like, wow, your top right winger is not. And they even had to move Kreider over to the right side for a couple of games. So that's again a team. It's about offense. We talking about there's more scoring in this league, but once you get to the playoffs, it's not that much scoring. So I think a team like the Rangers, offensively on the right side, they got to do something.